All right. Hello and good afternoon, Illinois. Hope everyone is having a great fall and we have so many great organizations joining us today. We're going to wait another minute or so for more participants to join in and hope you are all able to use your Uber Eats for lunch. And if you didn't get to use the code, it should be still good to use, I believe, either Thursday or Friday end of day. And then let me know in the Q&A box what you ordered for lunch or any fall plans you may have. Halloween is about to be next week. So if you have any company parties or any other social gatherings, if you have a costume, let me know. I am going to be one of the minions. We're trying out a team costume for our company. And let me see. Oh, someone ordered tacos for lunch. I see pizza, Panera. Ooh, someone got sweet green, miso glazed salmon. We sometimes get sweet green. I usually do like a create your own bowl, but I definitely want to try that. It looks really good. And you see, got a poke bowl, and someone is sharing a costume. They are gonna be a superhero, and some more pizza. Ooh, a sandwich. And we are in Illinois. I did get to go to Chicago for the first time last year. It was amazing. I tried Portillo's. I did get a deep dish pizza. And my friend who went to school there, he said, I think it was Pequod's like is one of his favorite pizza joints. I tried the really popular one. Unfortunately, I don't remember the name. And I next time if I have deep dish pizza, I would go with a group of people because those pizzas take almost an hour to make. Like if I had a couple of entrees and people to talk to, I did kind of do like a solo trip. So for next time, that's the only time I'll get like a big pizza again. All right. So before we get started, I will do a couple of housekeeping. So at the end of this presentation, I'll be following up with an email to provide the HRCI shroom credits. And then if you do have any questions today, feel free to add that into the Q&A box as well. And I'll get back to you as soon as possible. These questions will be saved. Oh, yes, someone said Giordano's. That's actually what I had. And I wish I went with someone. I think next year our team might go to Chicago again. So I'd love to go there with like I'm probably gonna invite like my partner to come to Chicago with me. Like he likes pizza. And let's see. And so other housekeepings. So I may not be able to address the questions as they pop in. I'll try my best to, but you should be getting also a written response just to get more clarification in the follow-up email. And then if you do want further information, feel free to ask me in that follow-up email. And you can also sign up for our YouTube channel and newsletter. So I'll be having the links at the end of the slides. And we are also going to send a recording of this presentation you can share with your colleagues. So that'll be sent separately through Zoom in a few hours. And so today we're going to talk about Illinois nonprofits and unemployment. Before I get started, just wanted to do a quick intro of myself. My name is Janessa Ponco. I'm the senior membership development representative here at 501, and I've been in sales since 2016. I was selling vendor boot space at a bridal show for over 3 years, and then I've set up meetings with tech startups during the pandemic, and then I've been helping to schedule nonprofit or appointments with nonprofits here at 501 since July 2023. And then there's the image of people bowling. It includes me and some of our sales and marketing team members. Heidi is my manager in the middle. You may work with her in the future. And then we have Evan on the right who works on our marketing and web development. And I'm really excited to be part of a team that's been helping nonprofits save time and money that can go towards furthering their mission. And we are located in San Jose, California, so we are in the heart of the Silicon Valley. We're dedicated to helping nonprofits reduce unemployment expenses across the nation. And thank you again for joining to learn more about cost-effective strategies and managing unemployment in your state. We're going to provide a broad overview on how unemployment insurance works, the different alternatives for 501c3 nonprofits when it comes to unemployment, how reimbursing works. We're also going to use some real life examples of nonprofits we've helped with our cost analysis, and then finally provide more information on our company, 501c services, and how many of our Illinois nonprofits have benefited from our services. So just to start off, I wanted to put in like a little history to put unemployment in perspective. So unemployment started in the US in the 1930s, following the Great Depression and the New Deal. The federal government wanted to create a safety net for workers who lost their jobs through no fault of their own. Between 1930 to 1972, 501c3 organizations didn't pay into unemployment benefits for separated employees. Although this saved them money from paying such taxes, employees that were laid off couldn't reap the benefits of that safety net that for-profit companies had provided. Now, fast forward to 1972, the federal government changed the law under the Social Security Act to where all nonprofits must pay into unemployment, but they were given different options in how they pay, so that tax wouldn't be seen as an unnecessary expense for them. And unemployment is overseen on the federal level. However, each state gets to manage their own programs however they choose. So throughout the US, you'll see like different taxable wage bases, tax rates, and benefit amounts. But today we're just going to cover information here in Illinois. So when it comes to management, unemployment rates can be adjusted annually and they are adjusted by experience. So for instance, if you have like a year or two of bad claims, your tax rate will increase. Most states, including Illinois, they run as a risk pool. So basically, you're putting money into this pool. And typically, we're seeing nonprofits putting money into more money into that pool than what they're actually getting back in return. And we're also seeing like the total tax liabilities by employers, they're often greater than the claims paid with reserves used in times of recession. And then how to like calculate your tax liability, you multiply your taxable wage base by your employer tax rate. And in the state of Illinois, the maximum weekly benefit amount for an individual without independence is $605. And then the maximum number of weeks someone can claim on unemployment is 26 weeks. This amount can increase if you have eligible dependents. And according to the Illinois Unemployment Insurance Act, where a dependent is classified as either a non-working spouse or child. So you can claim this allowance for one or the other option. You can't claim it for both. And currently, the highest possible maximum weekly benefit for a dependent spouse is $721, and then a dependent child is $826. So when you multiply an employee's maximum weekly benefit amount by the maximum number of weeks, your organization could possibly pay up to $15,730 to about $21,476 for that employee for unemployment. And so, as I said before, the maximum weekly benefit amount for unemployment in Illinois can range between $605 to $826, depending on if you have dependents or not. And then the federal government sets the wage base at a minimum of $7,000. There's no maximum. Illinois' taxable wage base is currently set at $13,916, which means for the first $13,916 an employee earns, your organization will be taxed on that. And then the minimum tax rate is at 0.75%, and then the maximum tax rate is at 7.85%, and those are both set by the state. And then the last thing I want to note is the improper payment rate, which is at 16.94% from the last slide. This equates to around $964 million in overpayments to former employees who are collecting unemployment from the past 3 years. And this is information we get from the Department of Labor. You can see Illinois is one of the many states that's greater than 13%. And this is important to know as we really encourage you to look over your claims, make sure that you're not overpaying for anybody's claims. And here at 501c Services, we help organizations monitor this. And within the last year, our team helped remove more than $440,000 in total amount of claims liability for our trust members in the state of Illinois. And if you are managing on your own, you really want to make sure that you're properly charged for a former employee's weekly benefit amount. And for the three different alternatives for unemployment, one is that you pay into that state tax pool that we mentioned earlier. And at times we have seen that more people are putting more money into that state pool than what they're getting in return. And it includes that tax rate set by the state and taxable wages. Another option is that you can self-insure or reimburse for your unemployment. So that means you just pay dollar per dollar for your unemployment claims, and you're basically only paying for the benefits that are issued. And the last option is kind of a hybrid of both, where you buy insurance, it offers the savings of reimbursing while also providing that safety net. And then the qualifications we look at for considering reimbursing is that an organization must be a 501c3 nonprofit. It excludes religious institutions. And then we recommend a gross annual payroll of $1 million or more, because typically if your payroll is under $1 million, especially significantly less than that amount, what you're paying into the state tax pool is probably pretty minimal. So you might not see much significant savings by opting out. However, there could be some scenarios where you can see potential savings. So we're happy to look at your numbers, even if you're just slightly less than 1 million. And then we also like to look at a positive audit of the last or the past 3 years. So that means in order for reimbursing to benefit you, we try to look at if what you paid each year in taxes exceeds what you're paying in actual claims. We also want to make sure that there isn't any major disruption in funding for the next 24 months. So we do recommend to stay with the state tax system if you know you might be having anything from like layoffs, reduction in workforce, losing funds, or closing any programs where your tax rates could go up with experience. And then you probably want to wait once those claims decrease. So what it means to reimburse is that your tax rate turns to 0%, and then the state will bill you only for the unemployment claims you receive over the quarter. It's a great way for nonprofits to save money and be a better steward of donor dollars. The process is seamless no matter how the employee is separated. They are still going to go through like the same process for your unemployment department, where the state will determine their benefit amount based on the base period pay. The only difference is how that quarterly bill is calculated. So instead of paying that state unemployment insurance tax, you're now only responsible for the charges your organization incurs. We work with 1,500 nonprofits, and we have several in the state of Illinois. So you're probably wondering what motivates them to reimburse. In most cases, reimbursing saves money. On average, you can get savings from anywhere from 20 to 40% compared to paying into the state tax. And this is the main driver for most organizations to switch. Reimbursing also eliminates any concern of changes in that state tax, such as those tax hikes you can't control. And then you become a better steward of donor dollars as you're just paying for your actual claims and putting more money into a state pool. And because unemployment is managed by the federal government big picture, reimbursing is allowed in all 50 states. It's best with employers with over $1 million in gross annual payroll, and then at least 15 or more full-time employees. So if you're on the borderline, we can certainly talk, as there may be some circumstances where you can consider reimbursing for your organization. And then if you are smaller and reimbursing already, we can still consider you for our services and how we can help you reduce your risk. And I do want to talk about how SUI is calculated. Like I mentioned earlier, we're going to show some real cost assessments we've done in the past. The taxable wage base is customized by each state. So in the state of Illinois, the taxable wage base is at $13,916. All employers in the state pay the same taxable wage base. It represents the first $13,916 of an employee's earnings. There's no maximum and can increase or decrease by any amount each year. And then the tax rate is set annually by the state and is based on experience. To calculate that contribution amount, you multiply the taxable wage base by the tax rate. So for Illinois, it's that $13,916 times the tax range of 0.75% to 7.85%. This amount means that if each employee makes over $13,916, a company is paying in between 104.37 to $1,092.4 per employee in unemployment. So what we do to get started on a free cost analysis is that we look at your tax rate notice. Typically, it's mailed for Illinois in November, but it could be sent earlier for some. So just let us know if you wanted to do an analysis. We can run some numbers for you in the next few months. And then this document includes your benefit charges and taxable wages from the most recent quarters from the past 3 years and your contribution rate. So those are highlighted in this document. And with this information, we can easily do an assessment for you and see if there may be any potential savings within your organization. And then our next two examples are nonprofits that had significant overpayments, and then they eventually became reimbursers and part of our trust. So this is our first example of a human services nonprofit. The taxable payroll was just shy of $1 million. Tax rate 4.7%, estimated claims almost $200 a year. And in this case, we look at a 3-year average of claims. So they were overpaying $45,000. And think of what you can do with an extra $45,000 for your organization. And then this is our next example. The taxable payroll was around $700,000, tax rate 3.38%, claims around $5,900. Estimated unemployment taxes were almost $24,000. So they overpaid around $18,000. And a little bit more about 501c services. So there was an act that started in 1972 where nonprofits got the option to reimburse. 10 years later, we were founded in 1982 by a former UCP executive. So he was looking for ways to save money for his organization. And at the time, his peers weren't quite using the option of reimbursing it. So he joined 25 other nonprofit leaders in San Jose to create the first kind of grantor trust. It's called the Joint Unemployment Compensation Trust. It eventually became what is now 501c Services, and our trust is called 501c Agencies Trust. And then we started at 25 members here in San Jose and have now grown to helping over 3,000 nonprofits in various ways across the nation. And in 2016, our owner had sold the company back to his employees. So we're now 100% employee owned, from our receptionist to the CEO. Every member is committed to our company and serving our members, and our services are valued tremendously, with our company having over a 98% retention rate. And these are a couple of testimonials our members have shared, and you can go back to these later, as I will send the slides after the presentation. It'll include the credits as well. And here we have a clip from our 40th anniversary celebration a few years ago. It includes testimonials from Anika Lund and Mike Hoffman from Start Early, Mary Sue and Michael Eady from CISC, Sandy Leota and Chris Marshall of Baltimore Center Stage, and Phyllis Austin and Jason Penniger from Boys and Girls Clubs of America.
What makes me passionate about working for a non-for-profit organization is because I knew I always wanted to work for a mission-driven organization.
Our mission is to work with immigrant communities so that they can achieve the American dream.
501 helps focus our service to the community by giving us more time.
501 helps us focus on serving our communities by providing services directly to our HR professionals.
The biggest benefit for working with 501 is really the transparency and ability to forecast our costs when it comes to our unemployment benefits.
They also keep our cash flow steady through claims that are sound and take a lot of the admin burden off of us so we can just stay on autopilot.
We're very grateful for all the support you provided over the last 4 decades, and we wish you continued success in the future.
Congratulations, 501, on your 40th anniversary. It's been a pleasure serving with you for the last 24 years.
And like I said earlier, we work with several nonprofits in the state of Illinois. And here's a quick snapshot of a few nonprofits here in the state and across the nation that are members. And just as you heard in the clip, we help nonprofits relieve administrative burdens that can come with unemployment. The first way we help nonprofits is through claims management. Our team will help you manage, audit, protest claims. And if you ever have to protest a claim, we have unlimited access to hearing reps, and our team has a 93% protest win rate in the state of Illinois. And then you'll have a dedicated claims manager when you become a member of our trust. And all of your claims will go through this online portal where you'll get notified when a claim has been filed. So you'll go into the portal and respond to the questions. And if you ever go on PTO and forget to delegate these kinds of unemployment tasks, it shouldn't be a problem for when a claim doesn't get responded to in several days. It gets escalated and handled. So the big part of our claims management is that our team doesn't want to see your organization overpay or get hit by those Illinois error rates. So we'll help you audit those charges for you or prevent you from paying a claim for when someone gets terminated. And we want to make sure that you're managing these claims and also have enough support to do so. And for our HR services, it includes 3 components. We offer access to unlimited HR consultations. We're a small, dedicated team that can answer any of your HR related questions. So if you ever have like an ongoing issue, you can develop rapport with the person who will support you and manage any of those questions. And our HR services also have trainings throughout the year that are HRCI and SHRM certified. And we have an online knowledge library with these services. And with that 605 to 826 maximum weekly benefit, or the range of $605 to $826, that maximum weekly benefit range that is in the state of Illinois, our goal is to help you keep that cost as low as possible. Whenever you lay someone off, we have our reemployment tool. It offers packages that can range from online coaching, interview techniques, and resume writing. And then our studies have seen that individuals who use this reemployment tool on average got a new job 4 weeks faster than those who didn't use the tool. It's never fun to let someone go, but at least you can give them the safety net and resources to help them secure a new job quicker, which in return can help your organization save more money by paying less benefits. And then we have the protection part. It's the insurance part of our program. Most of our members take our stop loss protection that helps members during catastrophic claims. And then other than catastrophic claims, for managing the highs and lows of unemployment, we have the trust account. This is a reserve account owned by our organization. So we would set this up for you once you become a member of the trust. This is where you can help save for those possible unexpected number of claims. So I hope this sparked your interest. Maybe some of you may want to manage your unemployment through us as a reimbursing employer. So if you want to look into potential savings, what I would need from you is your 941s or estimated payroll from 2024 to 2025 as a reimburser. And if you're currently paying into the state tax system, we would need your recent 2025 tax rate notice. Or so we'll start sending off and sending the email to the Slack HR. And then if you are still typing a question as I log off, please feel free to send that question in the following email. And thank you so much for watching this presentation. And I really look forward to speaking information here. And these are links to our YouTube channel. So if you want to if you wanted to get more of the basics of unemployment, and then our newsletter if you wanted to see any events that might come up. And thank you so much. And let me know if you have any questions. It was really great speaking with everyone and meeting everyone in Illinois that joined today. Have a great day.